Hi, this is Jagdish, Assistant Professor of EC Department, SNS College of Technology, Coimbatore. And as you know, we are actually discussing about the communication system video lecture series. And in the episode one, I have taught you what is the importance of communication, right? Communication systems. So much of things we discussed. If you didn't see that video, in description I will give the playlist link. You can check it out. And in this episode 2, we are going to I'm going to talk about the modulation, right? So what is actually modulation? So generally the modulation means that it's a modification. That's called a modulation. So when this modulation comes into the picture of communication system, what does that means? As you know, our frequency, that is a human hearing frequency, starts from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz hearing, right? And when you are speaking, what you're speaking is like from 85 Hz to 385 Hz. That's the average for male and female. That's some difference is there, but minimum is 85 and maximum is around 400. That is 385 precisely. So for female and female. So that's a voice and hearing is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz or 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz, whatever it means. So this is the thing. But whether our question is here, whether this 20 kilohertz can be able to send to the long distance, can be able to travel for a long distance, that's the biggest question mark here. Because as the frequency is less, that cannot travel for a long distance, and also that the power also it's a main thing we have to focus on, because the power plays a vital role when the signal propagates to the longer distance. Okay. So anyhow, this is the drawback, because see, the best example is when I am teaching you in a classroom that can be audible, right? In that particular classroom, right? That has size, so the 60% can able to hear my voice. But think of you, I'm speaking here one place, and you are sitting 10 kilometers after from my place. You are 10 kilometers far away from my place. Can you able to hear what I am speaking? That definitely you cannot hear, because the human voice frequency ranges, you know very well, that I said before, that I mentioned, that is 85 to 385 Hz only. So even you speak louder, it's maximum it reaches only 385 Hz, maximum 400 Hz only. So but it cannot able to reach after 10 kilometers. So but our thing is to communicate information to the longer distance, not only 10 kilometers, even at the continent. Your speech, your voice should travel for a long distance, continents to continent, on different countries, different islands. It should travel, cross the seas, bigger seas like Pacific Ocean or Indian Ocean, whatever it may be, right? So how it can be possible? So we need some alteration. We need to give some, we need to adapt some technique to have a long range of communication. So that frequency, that low frequency, must be converted into a high frequency, right? So to have the high frequency communication, we are going for this modulation, right? So the low frequency, the actual signal, our voice signal, will be converted into high frequency signal. That is only the possible by means of the modulation. So modulation is a very, very important thing you're supposed to know whenever communication systems comes into the role, because without modulation you cannot go for any kind of a technology. Right now you are seeing, right, whatever the communication present or in the future, whatever communication you are innovating, the modulation is a very, very important one. So according to the modulation definition, so modulation is the process of changing the carrier signal. The carrier signal is nothing but of the signal which has a high frequency signal. We are actually giving, we are producing a high frequency by means of some oscillators or some other devices, and that high frequency which mixed up with your actual frequency, low frequency, and finally it will be in a high frequency signal, right? So modulation is a process of mixing the high frequency signal with the original low frequency signal, and ultimately that after mixing those things, the ultimate output is high frequency signal. This is called a modulation. Simply, this is a simple way of understanding, but it has some definition. Modulation is the process of changing the carrier signal parameter or characteristics in accordance with the message signal or input signal or low frequency signal. These are all things. So according to the message signal or input signal, the carrier signal parameter will be changed. Here the parameters may be a voltage, or maybe a frequency, or maybe a phase will be changed according to the input signal. This is called a modulation, right? So this modulation have three types. One is amplitude modulation, another one is a frequency modulation, and another one is a phase modulation. That is PHA is phase. Phase means angle, right? So the first important thing is amplitude modulation, that is AM. Okay, the amplitude modulation that we will discuss in the next episode. Hope you understood what is the reason of using the modulation. So modulation, the purpose of using the modulation is to convert the input signal, low frequency signal to high frequency signal, right? Not only this one, and also it has several advantages. We can minimize the antenna height because of the modulation, because anyhow frequency is getting higher, so automatically the antenna size needed is very less compared to actual frequency, and power, so and external noise. These are all the several advantages are there that we will see in the forthcoming episodes. So thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, you put a like message, like, and if you have any suggestions or queries or clarifications or any modification or any suggestions you have, you are always welcome to put forth your point in the comment box. And if you need, if you really think this video is useful to you or some persons associated with you, you can share this video. And if you really like everything, you can subscribe my channel. And thank you. It's signing off, Jagdish. See you.